Hi, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Erik.
And we're Hit and Roll. We just released our first game, Blunderworld, and decided that for our next game, we wanted to head in a completely different direction.
Joseph had worked on a tunneling system a bit ago, so we thought now was a better time than ever to make a game with one.
Co-op games have really been making a comeback lately, and we wanted to incorporate that into the next project.
Our working title is Burrows. This will be a co-op digging horror mashup where you play as a crew of moles mining for coal in ancient haunted grounds.
Welcome to the first devlog, where I'll be going over how I made functional digging and optimized it so that it won't crash your computer. Now, high-quality, performant digging is not really an easy feat when you're trying to actively dodge the Unity asset store. The style of digging we wanted to pursue is that of games like Deep Rock Galactic, where you can dig into dirt and small, random areas of it will get removed as you dig. The way this is done is called marching cubes. Marching cubes is a method of terrain generation, where the terrain is broken up into very small cubes. You can think of Minecraft, except the blocks are like much smaller. Depending on which vertices of each cube are dirt versus air, different triangles will be rendered to create a smooth, non-voxelized look. Now, after hours of digging through tutorials on compute shaders and the concept of marching cubes, we ended up with this. Now, throw some random copy-pasted noise functions from the internet, and you now have something a little bit more interesting. Now, a game about digging isn't interesting without caves, so I threw in some 3D Perlin noise and experimented with some different values to get some interesting cave systems going. Now, as at this point, Erik told me our game wasn't going to have this many caves, so that was literally all for nothing. But now we throw a simple triplanar shader on it, a rock texture from freerocktexture.com, and now we have a great starting point to experiment with for our terrain. Now at this point, I took a look at my RAM, and every time I clicked play, I was on the border of exploding my computer. And I quickly understood this was going to require a much more performant way of map generation. Now, as the resolution of marching cubes increases, the amount of RAM required to store information about the map increases dramatically. As a result, really large maps will require splitting the map into like hundreds of chunks to only be rendered when necessary. Now, rendering only when necessary is a bit of a rabbit hole. What if you're not looking at a chunk? What if there's a chunk behind another chunk that you can't see? There's many optimizations on that front to be made, some a lot easier than others, but to start we found good performance with loading and unloading chunks lazily, using a queue-based system that relies on the distance a chunk is from the player. This has vastly increased the performance of the digging, as it only needs to calculate what to dig on affected chunks rather than on the entire map. And my computer no longer explodes since it only needs to load in chunks around the player. So now with a goofy loading screen and the Hit and Roll logo added, we've officially got the base mechanic in for our tunneling game. The tunnels.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to wishlist the game on Steam, link in the description. If you're watching when this video drops, the visuals are going to look pretty janky, but tune in for the next devlog where I show how I do a first pass at the visuals. Bye bye!